It's the Smite Pro League, powered by Curse Voice Gandhi, joined by Mr. Adonis. We are here on the final day of week 2. Kevin, how are you on this Sunday?
I'm doing pretty good. Memorial Day's tomorrow. We've had some great games Thursday, and then yesterday as well. Some great matchups, some great trade-outs also that many people were kind of expecting this week to be a lot of 2-0s, and we've seen a couple go both ways.
Myself included. I mean, last week I had the majority of them all 50-50. This week I was like, oh, penciling all of these out. Wasn't the case.
Nope.
Was not the case. What did you think about the Eager matchup, by the way, yesterday?
It was fantastic, and Eager looked great as a team even when they lost that game too. It seemed like they were more cohesive, but Denial repeatedly finding the picks they need, and the split push Loki, the play that we see, that doesn't come out too often, but when it does, it can be devastating if your team can't handle it.
For sure. Well, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the schedule today here, so everyone knows what's ahead of us. Game number 1, Team Dignitas going up against Titan. This one is probably the most anticipated game of today. The Night's Watch will be going off against Fnatic, and then Legion of Carrots will be going up against arguably the number 1 team in the entire world in AFK gaming.
Oh really? You're bandwagoning AFK. What a surprise.
I created these kids. I
created
Incon. He is my son. I basically gave birth to Incon. Incon knows it.
What was his best god before he played support?
You know I don't know that. Probably Habois.
It was Isis. Isis was the correct answer.
I don't care. I came in when he was all about the support.
Okay.
He came to me and he was like, Scott, I want to do YouTube, and, well, I want to do streaming, and I just don't know how to do it. And I was like, all right, here's my Bible. And then now look at him. Now he's bigger than me. He's a god. I know. That's my son. I love you, Incon. Anyways.
Dignitas Night's Watch.
No. Dignitas Titan.
Titan. You got me all floundered now. No, but Titan, this is a pretty interesting matchup.
Yeah.
Dignitas looked really good last week, and they were a cohesive unit when they faced off against the Night's Watch. They had their big LeBron play, right?
For sure.
It was the Sobek fling into the Janus portal, into a Neith ult, and a Ymir. It was just like perfect synergy from the team, and consistency that we didn't see in the spring split. So it's going to be interesting to see them bring that to a more established team in Titan.
Yeah. Titan now, even though they did have that kind of role swap, it looks fine. If anything, it looks better. Right, I talked about it a little bit yesterday. When you swap roles or just, change a setting, you normally try harder, and that's kind of what we're seeing out of Titan here, is that they seem to be putting more effort in and just really trying to go more and more forward with their teamwork.
They're enjoying the game more, right? And Adder actually has said that in, I believe he was on the banter bus with Hindu Man, and some of the interviews we've done is that their team kind of like had the SWC hangover after they got second place and they stopped enjoying the game. So the role swap, they said, really reinvigorated them and gave them a fresh light, right? They wanted to play even more.
It's got to be hard to really do anything after winning, what, like $150,000?
Something small like
pocket
that.
Pocket change. Anyways, guys, keep in mind you have 5 minutes from now to get your picks in for the season ticket. If you don't know what the season ticket is, 300 gems. Get you Shablanque skins, and then it gives you this banner around your loading frame.
You basically get to tell everyone when the next match is going to be coming up for the SPL, and as you pick the correct teams throughout the season, you accumulate the points and you get the really cool skins and also the icon.
Yeah. The best one is the Void Worm.
I haven't seen too many people with it yet.
It's very, very rare to see. I think we saw one yesterday in game. I think I'm not sure. What is it, like 2,000 points?
It's 3,000.
3,000.
1,000 for the Nemesis, 2,000 for the Icon, and 3,000 for the Void Worm.
It's a lot of points to have. So basically what you want to do is you want to be playing with the frame and winning games, and then on top of that, picking all of the matches correctly. But, well, before we get into any further here, I got to say the Xbox One is in closed beta. $29.99 will go ahead and get you the Soldier of Fortune Ares, Ymir Cacodemon X, the Ultimate God Pack for 400 gems. And, well, at this point, you guys know if you merge your accounts, you get Zeus X. But the big thing is we hit a pretty big milestone this weekend with concurrent users. Really, really happy with the growth of Xbox One, and it's been an honor to work on at this point.
Yeah, a lot of players have been playing it, a lot of merged accounts, and people are really enjoying it. I enjoy stomping you in the playtest. It's always fun. I'm not going to stop talking about
this guy's got so many jokes.
Me and Peckies are just focused.
Picks and bans. Get out of here, Agandis.
Is it time to play the game of Smite?
Yes.
Titan versus Team Dignitas here. Titan 2-0 in the spring split, looking to continue that trend. Team Dignitas, after a solid week 1, are looking to expand upon their lead. Sylvanas is the first ban, no surprise.
Yeah, Sylvanas he adds so much lane control. And this is what we saw yesterday. It was just, oh, Sylvanas got through? Well, you're shoved up to your tower and you're not getting mid-harpies.
Yeah, I mean, Jeff Hinla and Cloud9 just first picks it every time that god's available. It's so strong early. We also see a targeted ban. That's going to be against Frostiak. They take out the Ymir. It's his very well-known jungle Ymir that really controls the early game and sets the tempo for the mid game.
What a crazy world we're in where Neith is first pick because of how much versatility she has.
A month ago, people would have called you an idiot.
Yeah. And a month ago, I would have called them an idiot too. I would have said, "Hey, listen, Neith is not that good." And now she is one bad chick. So Thor and Ares will get picked up here. This is kind of screaming early game already. Ares is very, very good when paired with Kanye Life, and then Repikas, he's probably one of the best Thors in Europe.
I would say more notably that Kanye Life is the best Ares in the world. We saw Respect Band at Worlds against him. One of the very few players we've ever seen Ares respect band for. On the other side, Bastet and Janus. So we have a lot of mobility and a lot of global presence coming out from Team Dignitas. Definitely looking to get ahead early. But Titan as well, you said the Ares Thor. They have also a fairly early game controlling team.
Dignitas also going a little bit early here, grabbing the Bastet. She'll be able to gank the mid lane relatively easy, but it is going to be hard for her because Agni, well, he's a slippery one. He's got an escape in his dash, and now Sobek as well as Rama will be taken out of the equation.
Yep, couple bans taken out. Sobek, so 3 Guardians banned out from Titan. They do not like that early aggression that we see, that early control that we see out of a lot of these top teams now. And
also that really just leaves Bacchus, right? It's not like Team Dignitas
Geb
is going to run.
Well.
Oh, Geb, yeah.
But Geb isn't a very good early god. He really starts to come online later in the mid game, and then late game, he's probably, if not the strongest support, but can they get to that point? They do grab Geb, and it's going to be a tier final pickup for Team Dignitas. That is going on Variety, and that is for sure his best god.
The other thing, too, is that Ares Chains can stop Geb from his rollout early on. So he can just kind of shut him out. And same thing kind of goes with Tier. He can chain onto Tier, but really, Titan, they have such a strong early game where as now you're going to throw the Apollo in. So this is going to be going Ataraxia, most likely in the solo lane. If you guys are just tuning in, Ataraxia is now the solo laner. Comfrey is the duo laner. I believe Medusa is better in the lane.
She is, but it might be more comfortable for Comfrey to play the Medusa. In the last matchup we saw, he wasn't very strong in the laning phase. His team fight presence was fantastic. He was fighting the autos he needs, but in the lane, he was getting bullied a little bit by Shaggy Shank when they faced off against London Conspiracy. Game 2, though, he picks Medusa, does much better. So Medusa is for sure a comfort pick for him.
Yep. So now, really, when I look at this, going into this matchup, we talked about, the top of the big players you want to look out for. And the first thing that came to me was Variety versus Ataraxia in the solo lane, and then Frostiak versus Repikas in the jungle. Right here, I really think this will kind of paint the picture out. Pretty Prime's always going to be very good, so is Shadow Nightmare, but I really think it's on the back of Variety and Frostiak to kind of propel Dignitas forward.
Yep, we see a group up by Titan here, looking to find someone out of position. If they can find an Ares chain, that player is as good as dead.
Kawhi Bastet.
They're just going to safely win. Please, I don't like...
Voice pack.
I actually love playing that skin, but hate playing it against it.
Yes.
Because it actually like auto taunts you when it jumps in. That's what it sounds. It sounds like the player is just spamming taunt, but it's just the skin. It's so fun to play,
though. I hate it, man. The rainbows and cats.
The neon cats?
Yeah, I just think of Pon, right? And like
you hate Pon?
I think Pon when I see that skin. When that was getting made, Pon was all giddy, and he would like giggle to himself at his desk every time he played it. So now I just naturally, I just can't do it. Can't do it anymore.
2 soul stones picked up for both mid laners, so both trying to be pretty aggressive here in this early game. Standard start coming out from both teams, and it is going to be that Apollo up against the Tier. The Mez also works fantastic against Tier. You can Mez out his Fearless, severely reducing his clear early on.
Well, the clear will be very, very strong here from the members Dig, as they will go ahead and take this one out. And across the way, Ataraxia and Repikas, they'll probably get to the lane around the exact same time. The big difference here is that Apollo will not be starting off with Hand of the Gods. That's not something he does. So they'll just be a little bit behind. But he will have the blue buff, so he'll be able to spam his abilities a little bit more.
we saw this matchup before, and Apollo is definitely stronger in the matchup as long as he can position himself properly. But the weakness of Apollo in solo lane against a tier specifically or any warrior is if he gets a little out of position, he takes so much harass. So while it does win the lane, I would say, overall, one mistake can lead to death, whereas if you're playing another warrior, it's much safer.
Frosty comes and tags the waves. The big story here is that Titan, they want to be ahead as early as possible because the stronger Kanye life is, the more difficult it's going to be for Team Dignitas to really battle against them. And when an Ares is ahead, we saw it yesterday, he is just trouble.
Not fun to play against.
Not to say the least. Say the least.
So a surprising early pressure from this Medusa Ares, Youngbei on Neith, who typically Neith is controlling this lane. Her clear is incredibly strong, stronger than any other hunter in the game right now, outside of maybe Amuz and Ka. But Kanye Life is finding the chains and not allowing Youngbei to really position himself in front of this wave and get a fast clear.
And is that exactly what he's supposed to be doing?
Yes.
Just like standing up front and bullying him out of the lane?
Yes. It's very risky, but when it works, you can see you can even keep a Neith at bay.
Is that just because Geb can't really do anything? Since he doesn't have an initiation without...
He is the weakest support in lane by far. His knockup takes a while, and it's just... Geb auto attacks aren't very strong, you know? So Geb is weak when it comes to clear. He has to put himself in a bad position to do anything.
Similar to Bacchus.
Yes.
Who has to like belly flop in and hand the back wave and then try to initiate.
Incredibly low in this dual lane. They're getting pressured.
Is this the first?
No. They're going to back off into tower, but that's the... Here's the thing, is when you start losing, Neith has a self-heal. What is Confrey going to do now? He can't walk up to this lane safely at all. All it takes is one Spirit Arrow, and Youngbei's going to find a kill.
Well, the experience here, you can see, is about halfway to level 5. Really wants to get this ultimate online. 2:35 on the clock here. Mid Harpies are getting ready to come up. They've won the push battle here. You can see the rotation come out, and this is going to be a 4-man grouping going for this first set of Harpies. Frostyak may linger back.
Pick Ares.
And yeah, they're going to go for this pick. Ares is going to come stumbling along, and Shadow Nightmare will be here with Frezzy, as that's going to be Youngbei trailing on the backside. He's going to stay for the wave, and Ares is avoids the portal, and now he will live. But look at this.
Is Bastet 5? Did she get the camp? She is 5. She did get those camps. So Frostyak managing to steal out the right camps, but took a lot of harass for it. He's going to have to back. This would be about the time he backs anyway, so it's okay.
Yeah. Regardless about what we say about Geb, right? Like, in lane, yeah, he's weak. He's got the easiest way to get mid-Harpies at 3 minutes, though. Walk up.
It's also the most dangerous. What you see lot of times in high-level play is they recognize that Geb rolls out, and it lasts for a long time, but once his rollout's down, especially at the first set of mid-Harpies, he has no way to really peel for himself, because at the mid-Harpies, unless he got an early kill or stole some camps, he's not going to be 5. He won't have Cataclysm up, and it's very easy to pick him off, much like it is with Ares as well. And so we saw Ares, he got set up, but Kanye Left recognized that it came out and was able to quickly avoid the portal.
Well, Variety ended up having a little bit of an early back there. He's got hand 2, putting it on a 60-second cooldown, which really just helps him to clear the wave a little bit more and more consistently. And now with this first item he's picked up here, it's going to go right into a Mystical Mail, just guaranteeing the damage here on Apollo, who ultimated it in. Yeah.
Yep, he's just trying to make sure to stay all farmed. Ataraxia isn't looking for a kill here. He has no problem wasting this mana. He doesn't have blue stone, but his blue buff is coming up shortly. He just wants to make sure he stays ahead or even with tier.
Frostyak will go ahead and grab his speed buff here. 4-minute timer on that. Dynamic as well. Definitely not static for those buffs. That would change Smite entirely. Please it was just like every 4 minutes.
Please don't.
I'm gonna go into design tomorrow and be like, hey guys.
Lots of Heartseekers picked up here. Confrey is gonna go on Medusa, so he has to be very careful here in these next few minutes. If he's going this Heartseeker build, which we do see a lot from Medusas, he's not gonna be able to duel this Neith. He has no lifesteal, where Neith has the sustain in her kit. So Confrey is gonna have to play incredibly safe. If he tries to trade out against Youngbei, even if he gets ahead in the trade, Youngbei's gonna be able to heal up and he's gonna lose overall.
Well, Neith Arrow's coming in as well. The cats are down. Fearless is going to be good. Ataraxia in a lot of trouble here. He's actually going to roll out, and now he is one auto tech away as Frosty will take him out. In comes Repicaz. The double tap's amazing as he's able to take out Variety, and he's going to keep looking forward. Bastet waiting on the jump here. She's half health because of these Winions, and now Berserker Barrage probably going to pay with her life. She's going to try to get away, but he does have Mjolnir's Attunement to follow it up, and there's even more people Kanye Life, well, he's just rocking out into the air here as he was unable to pull anyone, as Frezzy will take a bomb, take a stun, and a double tap. Geb shield on himself. Cataclysm will save him, and the chain will not be able to hit the second one, so he will roll out.
Great play coming out from both teams there. Huge misplay on Team Dignitas, and Tyr paid for his life because of it. Great gank, great timing. It's not often that you see the soul lane ganked outside of AFK really putting the pressure on it. But we saw Frostyak rotate in, but Variety actually knocked up Ataraxia, so the Cats didn't have a target. You saw them sitting there at the edge of tower. It took them about 5 extra seconds to find that kill than it should have, and in that time, Repicos was able to find a return kill.
Repicos is hitting every double tap here. I mean, he can hit him freehand as well, which is insane to be able to do. That one was kind of telegraphed for him. But one thing before it becomes completely irrelevant here, the Ares. He starts off with Watcher's Gift, where across the way we're seeing the Mark of the Vanguard for Geb. Wouldn't it make more sense for the Ares to have Mark of the Vanguard just because of how he has to play this matchup?
You don't want to get behind in gold, and if he's going this Watcher's Gift, he may also not elect to go to Traveler's Boots that we see so commonly. And if he's going to go the Power Boots like we do see Ares like to pick up, because they have so much damage on the change, they want to get it off, he's going to need the extra gold and extra sustain from that Watcher's Gift to get him through laning phase.
Gotcha. Thor going to go ahead and drop the red buff here. Comfrey rotates in. Frezzy just trying to get a deep ward down there, and you can see it's going right by the purple buff for the rotation. Repicos does have ultimate, which can change everything instantly here. Mid Harpies have been split both times, and as we're looking at it, even though it's a tied game, I still am kind of giving Titan the advantage here. I mean, that was a great counter gank from them.
It was a great counter gank. They shut down the Apollo a little bit, but he's still further ahead than his counterpart Tyr, which is actually surprising me. They both ended up dying, but Ataraxia doing a great job of controlling this lane like I expected him to, and outside of getting ganked, hasn't really put himself in a bad spot to be bullied by Tyr.
How come Ataraxia didn't decide to go into the Devo gloves?
Doesn't
he have solo?
Apollo is scaling incredibly well, but Frostyak,
he's been able to make it out again. Shadow Nightmare is just going to look at 4, and the troops are here as well, as Comfrey will get bullied out of this one. Lacerate will save his life, and you can see the Dignitas and the Titan wards have all come down. It's all around the Gold Fury here. This is the next point of contention, as Shadow Nightmare is going to have to portal himself through. Really just trying to stay as safe as possible. Taking a look at the builds here, he's decided to go into CDR boots. He's probably going to go into a more utility-based Janus, and by that we really just mean just way more CDR.
Yeah, he has a lot of abilities in his kit that not only do damage, but also help the team. He has Threshold, which is probably the most underrated ability in the game, increasing his own damage, speeding up his team, and slowing the enemy team. A well-placed Threshold actually changes team fights.
He's got some balls. He just looked straight up at him. Chain 1, 2, 3, waiting for the Syrian Flesh. He's forced it out, and that's going to be the ultimate, making him CC immune. Geb's going to pay with his life. In comes Frostyak. He's got the Cats. They're down. Neith Arrow's going to hit as well, and that will be a return kill for the members of Team Dig.
Great job by them. I'm actually a little surprised. Okay, no, Janus was able to get I thought he beads and used his ultimate. And I thought he beads at first, but he just timed the ult perfectly, so where he would get it off at the last second of the Ares chains, making sure the enemy team would be in position to get hit there when they tried to group up. Comfrey pressuring out that purple buff of Young Bays, but Young Bays able to rotate back in time and stop that. Mid Harpies are about to come up. We could see some fights here, but Ares, his chains are down, but they know Frostyak Cats are down and Shadow Knight.
Oh, there's definitely going to be some fights here. Look at this. Ataraxia moving with Repicos here. They're going to spot a Frostyak, and, well, Frostyak's going to wisely just go ahead and say, well, I can't probably fight both of you, so I'll tag this mid lane and then jump over. And so far, I mean, we haven't really seen too many invades in the jungle. It's been really everyone's keeping to their side, minus the one big fight.
This is Europe in total. This is what they like to do. Both teams, or almost all European teams, like to play it safe. They know the 1 through 5, the 1 through 10 are really critical, and if you make just a couple misplays, you can almost lose the game off of that. So both teams and most of Europe, they're like, we're going to play it safe. We're going to let the other team try and be aggressive and make mistakes if they want to. We just think we can outplay the enemy team when it comes to mid and late game.
1 chain, 2 chain, 3 chain on, as Kanye Life will gladly take the guaranteed damage here on a Frezzy. He was not close enough to hit his auto attacks in between each chain, which gives you the maximum amount of damage. But regardless, he's still feeling good. Just getting those chains, just a little bit of like a confidence boost, right? You're like, yeah, that's right. I hit it.
Yeah, I mean, This god scales with player skill. Ares is one of the few gods that really scale with player skill. I would say any stance switch god does as well. And we're actually going to see a gank by Kanye Life.
And that's going to be the beads force out. Kanye Life catches through space and time on the backside. That's going to be Medusa. Petrify is not going to land a kill. Unstable Vortex will help secure Kanye Life, as that's going to be the last right away. And Repicaz comes crashing down. Here comes the cat. She doesn't have her jump. Oh, she does. There it is. And now she's going to live to see another day, and they're actually going to try to turn this here. Shadow Nightmare will be pushing up. Young Bae is going to be there as well, and even Variety came over for this party, which means Ataraxia should be able to take this tower. I mean, it's like half health.
Yeah, I mean, that's split push Apollo for you. He's just going to take this tower. He has full mana, so he's likely to ult over here.
They got to be careful.
No, he's still pushing.
Look at this. Pretty Prime. Dropping bombs on him. It's very low. And Team Dignitas able to take the first Gold Fury here. And they do have to be careful, as Variety was very low. Repicaz slowly getting out of this one. Young Bae now barely off the target there. And now they will just clear this wave and be happy to take the 1,500 gold lead. But Ataraxia, his eye, I mean, look at this. They get 2,000 gold for the tier 1 and the tier 2 together.
That was actually a positive trade in their favor.
Yeah.
Now, the tower, that's gone, right? You're not going to get that gold back. Gold Fury repeatedly spawns, so you always want the Gold Fury. But that's so much pressure off that right lane. That's going to allow Ataraxia to roam more without having to worry too much. He doesn't have any more towers to take. Now he's going to be an extra man in the fights, which means tier is going to have to rotate as well.
Also, look at the level disparity. He's got 2 levels now on Variety.
Ataraxia has been playing this lane fantastically, and you can really tell how confident he is in his Apollo play. He actually didn't go Heartseeker into Asi. He went Heartseeker into Boots. He knew he was going to be able to outplay this tier, this Variety in lane, and not have to worry about getting poked out.
Yep. Next, he'll be going into Sprint 3 and Beads 3. Down the line, we will see Repicaz go ahead and grab the Jotuns. You know, we've seen so much disparity between the different item builds coming out of Thor. We've seen the Transcendence's item 4. We've seen Shifter Shield, sometimes Magi's. I think it's going to be a similar tune here.
I think he's going to build more utility. He has the 2 ADCs for physical damage. We're likely to see another frontliner along with Ares. I don't know if he'll build into it right now, but a lot of Europeans... Oh, we're actually going to see him go in.
This is going to be Berserker Barrage here very soon. No Escape's going to pull him in. That's going to be guaranteed. That is routine for them. My God. That is... Oh, he
huge
lived.
No Escape. Great positioning by Young Bae, though, recognizing that that portal was there. And we're going to find 3 kills coming out from Titan. And that area's changed. Just no one had anything up.
Yeah, this is what we were talking about. The synergy seems to be just a little bit better now with Titan. I don't know what's changed. I mean, besides the role swap, right? But... I mean, it looks like they've just put way more time into this game than what they were previously, and now their teamwork is just shining.
And this meta is actually perfect for their lane swap. Confrey wanted to play Hunter. Ataraxia didn't really want to play solo. Solo lane was his favorite, but Hunters are his favorite gods. He said in the past, and you could see him just with this meta, Hunters becoming more prominent. He's able to play these Apollos, these Neiths in this solo lane and still enjoy the game.
Poor Variety. Going to run straight into the Ataraxia, who's just going to mez him out, and he will just rotate out. I mean, Ataraxia's keys to success here is don't fight tier ever, poke him out, and then just come crashing into a team fight, and that's it. That's all he has to do. As long as he didn't feed in the lane, which he didn't, this is a win for Titan.
Yeah, I mean, Apollo, he just has to play safe. He doesn't have to challenge the tier, and as long as he's not doing that, he's going to be able to stay equal in farm and become a different... part of his team than the tier would.
CDR boots for the Geb.
Okay. You want to get more shields off. Typically, you will see Watcher's Gift, or not Watcher's Gift, excuse me, Traveler's Boots, but the Geb doesn't have safe poke like other Guardians will, so he can't proc that extra gold as often as others can, so he's just going to play it safe. He wants to get off more shields, more Cataclysms in these fights. That
will be a Magi's Blessing, most likely coming out of the Thor.
Yes.
He could branch off into any piece of that tree, but the one thing I do love is the fact that Pretty Prime has decided to go into Heavenly Agility, which is going to help his team so much. Double tap going to be off the mark, same with Tectonic Rift. Searing Flesh will force Frostiak out. He didn't even take any damage from it, but the chance that he does, it's not worth it. Variety now trying to even up on the structure damage here, but he finds himself down 2 towers, and... well, it's just full control by Ataraxia. He can't get close because he'll just get poked out as well.
there's no need for him to get close. He could just stay at range and poke out the tier. The tier doesn't have a blink. Kanye Life, though, does.
That's a win. Cataclysm down. And, I mean, now they don't have their initiation.
That's not a win. We don't have CDR boots out of the Ares. Geb will have his ult up before No Escape comes up. That's a positive trade out for Team Dignitas.
Well, Frostiak here, he's in a lot of trouble here. He's going straight back into the Medusa, who gets hit by through space and time. Comfrey able to clean this one up. Unstable Vortex will hit. Repicas comes crashing down, waiting for it. Here comes Ataraxia to clean it up. He's going to roll forward. Variety now. He's the frontliner, pretty prime, looking for an opportunity. And they realize, well, there's 2 squishies in Thor, and they're just going to take that trade.
Yeah, 2 for 1. Great trade coming out from Titan here. They're sitting with about a 2k gold lead, but their mid lane is getting pressured. Repicas could be in a bad spot.
Repicas, he fears no one at this point. On Thor, he's at home. You can just see him, right? Like, he's going for the free hand double taps, and when you're feeling the rhythm, that's when you go for those. They're so difficult.
They are. They're incredibly difficult. That ability scales with player skill. When you're freehanding him, at least. Otherwise, you have the wall set up.
It's guaranteed. You have to try to miss it.
Hey,
What, do you miss your
No,
Mjolnirs?
of course not. I always hit them.
I could play with my feet on a controller and hit it after I hit a tectonic rift.
Lassus has done that. You're just trying to copy him now.
He did it with the controller? I didn't think
not with the controller, but he played with the seats.
Specifics, Kevin.
Sorry. Team Dignitas all grouped up on the left side, and you see tier rotating. Both teams are positioning for Gold Fury. They're both trying to find a pick. They really want to take out the enemy support. If not, they're going to try and take out the enemy mage, most likely.
Gold Fury, this is the time. And at 17 minutes and 15 seconds, our standard time has really been around 25 to 29 minutes this season. So you're really looking at potentially one fight just breaking everything open here. And Variety's kind of just lingering on the backside here. And he hears the call out, and now he's going to get ready to come. Through space and time comes off the mark here. Frezzy now has the Gold Fury. In comes the No Escape. Lawbringer comes out. He's all by himself on the backside. Geb's going to throw the Cataclysm through the wall as well. And now we'll see Repicas. He's got Young Bay forcing him completely out. Now Variety. He's so low. Down he goes finally. Shadow Nightmare is going to be the next target as Young Bay's looking to just try to get away with his life. But Ataraxia says, I am the better Hunter, even though I'm playing in the solo lane, my friend. Still, I mean, that was a thing of beauty.
It was just a fantastic play from him. And really what it came down to was Frezzo blinked in early, thinking the Gold Fury was a little bit lower. Titan instantly drops the Gold Fury, counter engages on him. Frezzo had to burn everything just to save himself. He cataclysmed him an Ares, shielded himself, and then took the portal out, and then he had to dip. He's the only player left alive. He had about less than 50 health in there, and then Titan just cleaned up the rest in the back. We saw the ult in come out from Janus, but no one was in position to follow it up immediately, and then they just walked in slowly, one at a time, repeatedly picked. Ataraxia finds 3.
Geb now trying to soak up some experience here in the mid. He's even with the level, but he is down a good amount of gold to the Ares, and once we see supports fall behind, it's very unlikely that they're able to find their way back into this game. And as you're looking at the charts, I mean, 9,600 experience, that's really what it's all about in this game. There's early on, it's completely about experience. Gold's good, right? But if you have a 9,000 experience lead, that's ugly.
I mean, the gold, 5,000, right? That's between all players, that's about 1,000 gold. That's a tier 1 item. That's nothing. That's nothing important. But like you said, when you're 3 levels higher, your abilities are scaling harder, they're hitting harder, and you're just, in general, doing more damage. Ataraxia, most notably, 3 levels ahead of Variety. Variety is not even playing bad, right? He only has 3,000 damage. That was this lane. That was the fantastic positioning by Ataraxia, not allowing Variety to get an inch on him.
Yeah, Variety in that last team fight, too, back at the Gold Fury, he had the Lawbringer into the back line, but the Geb got so forced out that he was just by himself fighting 3 people, trying to get a squishy.
Just one at a time, they funneled in for Titan to fight them. It was just a 1v4 after a 1v4 after a 1v4.
I know that life. That's how my games go.
Well, that's also because you're bad.
Well, no one said I was ever good at anything. So thanks, Kevin, for bringing that up.
Carbon.
Hey. We just let those times rest in peace, okay?
I'm sorry.
All right. You just got to bring up the old stuff, man.
Has switched lanes. He's so far ahead, he knows he can fight Young Bay better than Confrey can. He also has Lifesteal online, and he's just chunking with that Executioner. So they're going to let him split push here. Also, Tyr, if he continues to push the right lane, which has nothing, but Tyr, oh, we have a gank though.
Careful. The slow will hit. Ataraxia says, well, I'll call my helicopter here. Thank you, Tom Cruise, for bringing it in. As now it'll be, he comes crashing down into a team fight here. Variety's going to be walled off, and now the Geb shield will hit. Kanye Life trying to bring one person in. It's going to be Frezzy and Repikas. He's just looking to kill someone, and he's just waiting on Frostiak to jump backwards, and he goes, well, screw it. Initiating on someone here, and Variety will be that target. He wasn't able to get the double tap off, and beads come out. Lawbringer forced out. Repikas trying to live, and he's done just that, as Pretty Prime will hit the peel for him, and Titan comes out on top again.
One at a time, once again. We actually saw Frostiak jump in, incredibly dangerous for him, but he has too much move speed, able to escape all of Titan, which was, it could have been disastrous, but Frezzo dying with all, he just keeps getting picked off. This is what happens when you get behind as a support. He only has sovereignty, right? Pretty Prime is just destroying him with almost basically true damage. He has penetration online.
Yep. And the builds aren't that much different. He's getting like an extra 150 health, the Ares, with the reinforced greaves, but he's got so much gold in hand at this point that he's going to go back and probably start his Heartward Amulet, which then, that's when we start to see the big changes between the supports. As the Fire Giant has been started up, Variety's calling it out to his teammates. You can see Geb, he's coming in with the quickness, but he is just going to get poked out of this one. 3 members of Titan actually on zone duty here, as they will just go ahead and reset this Fire Giant.
Titan doesn't want to risk it. They already have a lead, and they've been slowly gaining on it. They don't want to put themselves in a position to group up on Fire Giant and even Gebel into Variety, knocking all of them up. So play it safe, keep finding the small leads, keep bleeding Dignitas out. Great decision, I think, from Titan there.
Young Bait now, he's kind of split up from his teammates as Shadow Nightmare will go ahead and grab the red buff here. It was a utility-based Janus that we've seen, as that'll be max CDR finally online, 2-2 and 2 across the board, across the way. Pretty Prime. He's got Chronos Pen and Spear of Magus. Next will probably be the Bancrofts here. In comes Frezzy. Cataclysm hits. They're on. That's going to be Pretty Prime here. The ultimate from Confrey. It's not going to be enough. Repikas comes up, comes crashing back down. Titan takes the Fire Giant. And now we will see Berserker Barrage try to save him. The double tap, he goes right back into his team fight. Beads forced out as well. And now it'll be Variety trying to chase him down. The peel wasn't good enough. And now we will see Ataraxia get one. Repikas and Confrey trying to battle every— Oh my God!
Double tap blind. He didn't even have wards, I don't think, in there. Ataraxia gonna take some damage.
The hell is his problem?
Dash out. Repikas, though, he is the savior of that fight. He was actually the one to steal Fire Giant with Hog. He came raining down onto Geb, stunned him, stole the Fire Giant from Geb, and then he hits a—
Dude, that was one of the gnarliest plays.
It wasn't a blind double tap. I see the ward, I'm sorry. But still, through the wall, no setup on a moving target. Repikas, player of that fight, for sure.
I would let him have my kids.
Repikas, you heard it here. You've got an offer. Gold Fury started off.
Good God.
Going to be taken by Titan. Going to extend their lead to nearly 10,000 gold.
That's what you want out of your teammate, right? That was great. That's
stole the Fire Giant. Double tap, moving target through a wall. That's a top 5.
So he goes ahead and finishes out the Spirit Rub. Next will be the Titan's Bane. Are you liking the Spirit Rib choice over the Magi's?
Yes, we've actually seen this item start being picked up a lot more often. I would say Weekend was probably one of the ones to start this trend. I don't know if he was actually the first, but I see him picking it up on almost every jungler. It doesn't give health, which is a lot of times a detriment. Players don't like picking up these defensive items with health. But for junglers, giving you that CDR, the extra CDR to max it out when you have a Jotun's Wrath, as well as protections from all, and when you get stunned, you take reduced damage. I mean, it's a perfect fit for a jungler looking for a utility item.
Yeah, especially for Repikas, who seems to be playing not really an assassin-based Thor, more of a counter-initiate, destroy Thor.
They're really— he's not going in and ganking with his Thor ult.
He's not going for picks.
He's waiting for Team Dignitas to put themselves in a bad position after a fight has started, and then he crashes down. Just like that last Fire Giant.
He also knows, too, like in that last Fire Giant, just for an example, just to touch on it, but he goes around the Fire Giant wall, and then he's like, oh, well, if they're initiating, they're not going to be looking in the sky. I'm going to just go ahead and ult. So he ults up and then comes crashing back down. It's beautiful. It's a guaranteed way to get a Thor ult. Left side turret and middle turret will be pressured here. Ataraxia in the mid lane, and we'll see Repikas leading the charge. on the dual lane side of things here, as they will now slowly push up. The question is whether or not they will try to end it here. Kanye Life, you see him, he bashed his shield with SWC Ares. He loves this skin. He was at SWC, but he wishes he would have won that game 5.
I mean, they banned out his Ares, right?
Yeah.
If he had the Ares, baby,
I
he would have
know.
won.
I know. It was like foreshadowing that we made this awesome SWC Ares skin, so he would be amazing at the event. Variety comes in. He's all by himself. Yeah, this is curtains for him. He's not going to be able to make this one out, and he gets pulled right back. Frezzy now is going to get stunned. He gets turned to stone as well. And now Repicas on the backside. There's going to be one. They're dropping like flies, as we will now see the middle Phoenix be taken. And Kanye Life, he will get hit by the Neith arrow, but, well, he's a support. He's not really too worried about it, as now they will prioritize the Phoenix. Repicas is tasked with zoning him out, and Titan is looking to just clear this one out. But with 1:24 left on the next Fire Giant, that means they have 20 seconds of this Fire Giant buff. To me, I think they're going to go ahead and back after this next Phoenix.
Yeah, I mean, if they were going to go for the win, they would have already dove in after the 2 Phoenixes. Titan, once again, looking to play the safe game here. They're going to get all 3 Phoenixes. Fire minions pushing up in all 3 waves. Fire Giant spawning in 2 minutes. They're going to back. They're going to spend all the golden hand. Can we take a look at it real quick? Yeah, they're all sitting at about 2,000 plus. Repicas at 2,500. Going to finish off Titan's Bane. Likely pick up a Winged Blade or a Magi's after that. And just look at player damage, right? Across the board, Titan playing a very safe, consistent game.
No! He did it. He sells off the tiny trinket just to add him a little bit more gold, and Agni will now have a Rada Tahuti. And that's a Spear of the Magus tier 2 started up for the Ares, just trying to throw down more magical damage, realizing the weakness that is on the other team, and he wants to just press the advantage.
He feels like he's tanky enough right now.
Well, he is.
Yeah, I mean, he is tanky enough right now. You could always go utility at him, get more CDR, get those Ares ults off more, but Kanye just doing so much damage, he's like, why not just do more damage?
Why would he not go Voidstone, though? Like, wouldn't that help out the Agni a little bit more than the Spear of the Magus? Or is Searing Flesh that good with...
I mean, it probably would, actually, now that I think about it, because the aura also gives him his passive. So maybe a little bit of misplay.
Well, Fire Giant now started up. There is no way in hell that Team Dignitas can contest this. They have to turtle under their base and watch as Titan will now start to push down every single lane. Fire minions in all lanes. Double tap right off the mark there on Variety. And, well, you can start to see how strong this tier is here with the Stone of Gaia and the Jotuns plus the Mystical Mail.
Tier needs to come up big. In the last Fire Giant fight that we saw, Tier was actually able to find Agni in the backline and pick him up. We really need Variety to have the same impact he did in that Fire Giant fight, but it's going to be hard with all these Fire minions coming through. After that, it's really going to come down to Bastet trying to find someone, but he doesn't really have the instant kill potential that we see. So going on an ADC, they're just going to be able to heal up. It's going to be hard for him to make an impact in this fight.
Medusa is just so slippery looking. As now the double tap right off the mark there. Kanye Life, he's got one chain down. They're waiting for a very calculated push here. They're waiting on the long lane as well to kind of push up with the fire minions, and then what's going to happen is that Team Dignitas is going to have to cater someone to each lane to just stop the guaranteed damage. And Kanye Life says, well, bring it on, boys. He pulls one in. Confree's now here. Didn't turn anyone into stone, but he is going to be able to shred through them. Ataraxia picks up one, and now Confree lacerates out. Still alive, trying to get some lifesteal here as Repicas takes out another one. And now we will see as Titan will attack the Titan, and they will take game number 1.
Fantastic play, and Dignitas didn't look weak. I mean, Dignitas looked pretty solid as a team, but Titan just seemed to be a half a step to a step ahead of them in each engagement, and really the downswing started at that Gold Fury play. Frezzo blinks in too early. Titan fantastically disengages. They pick up Frezzo. Well, they don't kill him, but they force everything out from him. He cataclysms one person. He has to shield himself and then run out. Titan finds 3 in the back. Ataraxia specifically finds 3 in the back line, and they just continued the presence from there.
How do you handle an Apollo in the solo lane, though, when you're tier? I mean, do you just build teleport and pray to God that you can rotate with him?
It's really about the Apollo messing up, but putting himself out of position, and Ataraxia is not the player to do that. And you saw We were, 20 minutes in the game, and he did 3,000 damage. Ataraxia, perfect positioning in lane, allowing him to get ahead. And then he made huge impacts in those team fights. It's hard to shut him down. He picked up the teleport to really match the rotations from Apollo, but
across the sky.
But it still, it just wasn't enough.
All right, well, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the first blood here from this game number 1 of Sunday's SPL powered by Curse Voice. It was a full-blown dive.
Look at that knockup. The Cats actually stopped chasing because Apollo was knocked up. Their target wasn't in technical terms combat, right? Yeah. So that allowed Repicos to actually find a return kill on what looked like a clean kill. Yeah,
that ended up being a counter engagement, and then we were tied at 2 at 7 minutes, and it just kind of fell through. But Confrey, he looks great.
He looked much better. And they gave him a safer laner.
For sure.
He had to face Neith, though, to be fair, right?
Yeah.
And also Apollo had a good matchup against Tyr. So it was kind of both of them. But let's take a look at the jungle control and see who was really running the show. No surprise, Titan, not by a lot, though.
Yeah, not by a lot at all. I mean, 18 for 32 on the mid Harpies, which gives them 56%. They were 2 for 3 on the Gold Furies, and then 2 for 2 on the Fire Giants. Obviously, the second Fire Giant is just like padding the stats, right? I mean, they got it. But there was no way they could contest it.
No, they pushed up 3 fire. They pushed up 3 Phoenixes, got them, and allowed the 3 fire minions to go through.
One thing you should kind of keep your eye on as well is the 58% on attack speed, power, and speed, as well as mana. That means that Titan, towards the end of it, we're taking everything possible from Team Dignitas, and that's really, really important at a professional level. Is when you have killed a couple and then you're kind of retreating, go back, take everything from the jungle and just add to that lead. You don't want him to get crawled back into it at all.
Yep. Player of the game, though, Ataraxia, no surprise there.
As he should be.
Played fantastically, 6-1-9 here, and I believe this is his triple kill, but just fantastic rotations.
A scene from Mission Impossible.
This is perfect against the tiers who really like to play these teleports now. No longer do we see the blinks, and this also doesn't allow him to play blink, right? If he goes blink, then Ataraxia is going to be in every fight, and tiers not.
So this is one of those fights I was talking about where Variety was looking for it, and then he just had to come in the backside. He actually gets mezzed out. A power cleave there. And Ataraxia just shredding through. One of the best plays, though, that we saw throughout of everything is the fact that he was able to take not only the tier 1, but the tier 2 in one single push because of not a poor rotation, but a rotation out of Variety. I mean, that's 2,000 gold, which completely negates exactly what they were able to gain from that Gold Fury.
Yeah, and you saw it as well. Titan just they didn't even try to contest it. Pretty prime through all his bombs, but they're just we'll trade this out. We're getting 2,000 gold on the right lane, and you're getting 1,500. This is a positive trade for us. It also opens up Ataraxia to roam more into these team fights.